Hello, writers and mystery lovers. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 9, and today I'm doing something a little different. Instead of diving into character analysis or story themes, I want to pull back the curtain and show you my actual process for outlining a mystery novel. I'm a firm believer that a strong outline is the foundation of a great mystery. It's your roadmap, your safety net, and your blueprint all rolled into one. But here's the thing. An outline shouldn't constrain you. It should guide you while still leaving room for those magical moments when your characters surprise you or a better twist reveals itself. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact method I use to outline my upcoming mystery novel, Death by Degrees, a Greenhavens mystery, which releases this January. Don't worry, no spoilers. But I will show you the structure, the strategy, and the step-by-step process that took me from a spark of an idea to a fully plotted mystery ready to write. So grab your notebook, open your writing software, and let's talk about how to outline a mystery that keeps readers guessing until the very end. Before we dive into the how, let's talk about the why. Mystery novels are architecture. Unlike some genres where you can pants your way through and discover the story as you write, mysteries require precision. Every clue matters. Every red herring needs to be intentional. Every revelation must feel both surprising and inevitable. When I sit down to write a mystery, I need to know who committed the crime and why. What clues will lead my detective to the truth? What false trails will mislead both my detective and my readers? How each piece of evidence connects to the larger puzzle. Without an outline, it's far too easy to plant clues that lead nowhere. Forget to set up crucial evidence early enough, create plot holes that undermine the solution, or lose track of timelines and alibis. But here's what I love about outlining. It doesn't kill creativity, it amplifies it. When I know my structure is solid, I'm free to focus on character voice, atmosphere, relationships, and those beautiful details that bring a scene to life. The outline handles the mechanics so my creative brain can play. All right, let's get practical. Here's my 7-step process for outlining a mystery novel. Step 1. Start with the crime. Everything begins here. Before I write a single word of outline, I need to answer these questions. What is the crime? Murder, theft, fraud, conspiracy? Who is the victim? Not just their name, their life, their secrets, their connections. Who committed the crime and why? Yes, I know the killer from day one. How was it done? Method, opportunity, timeline? What makes this crime worth investigating? What's at stake beyond just solving it? For Death by Degrees, I started with a murdered climate scientist at an eco-friendly retirement community. The victim had dangerous information about corporate environmental crimes. That gave me my crime, my killer's motive, and my stakes, all before I wrote a single scene. Pro tip: write a 1-page case file for your crime. Treat it like you're the detective documenting everything you know. This becomes your North Star throughout the outlining process. Step 2. Create your detective. Your protagonist isn't just solving the mystery, they're experiencing it. So I need to know, why are they investigating this crime? Professional duty, personal connection, moral obligation? What unique skills do they bring? Intuition, logic, connections, expertise? What are their blind spots, biases, fears, past trauma? What's their personal arc? How will solving this case change them? For Death by Degrees, my protagonist is actually a team of 3 amateur sleuths, all residents at Greenhaven's retirement community. Dr. Iris Blackwell is a 73-year-old autistic retired climate scientist with brilliant pattern recognition skills. When their friend Thomas dies and the police dismiss it as an accident, Iris knows it's murder. She recruits Eleanor Brooks, a former EPA investigator, and Frank Rodriguez, an environmental activist, to help her prove it. Each brings different skills, perspectives, and connections. And because the victim was their friend, the stakes are deeply personal. Knowing my trio inside and out, their strengths, their conflicts, their motivations, shaped every scene I outlined. Step 3. Map out your 3-act structure. Now comes the framework. I use a modified 3-act structure designed specifically for mysteries. Act 1 is the setup, and it covers the first 25% of the book. In Act 1, you introduce your protagonist and their world, establish the crime, usually by the end of the first few chapters. Present the initial suspects and their motives. Show your detective's first impressions and theories, and end Act 1 with your protagonist committed to solving the case. In Death by Degrees, Act 1 introduces Greenhaven's retirement community and the trio of friends, Iris, Frank, and Eleanor. When their friend Thomas Beckman dies, the police detective rules it an unfortunate accident. But Iris, with her scientist's mind for patterns and details, knows something is wrong. Act 1 ends with Iris convincing Frank and Eleanor to join her investigation, even though the authorities have closed the case. Act 2 is the investigation, and it covers the middle 50% of the book. This is your longest section and needs the most careful plotting. In Act 2, your detective gathers clues and interviews suspects. Red herrings mislead the investigation. Relationships deepen. Allies, antagonists, maybe romance. Multiple false solutions are proposed and discarded. The stakes escalate with more crimes, threats, or revelations. And you end Act 2 with a major revelation or setback that changes everything. In my outline, I mapped out every interview and what's revealed, truth versus lies. Every clue discovered and what it seems to mean, every false trail and when it's debunked, rising tension and escalating danger. This is where the complexity lives, so the outline becomes essential. Act 3 is the resolution, covering the final 25% of the book. In Act 3, your detective pieces together the real solution. There's the confrontation with the killer, an explanation of how everything fits together, emotional resolution for your protagonist, and a hint at what's next, especially important for a series. Act 3 needs to feel both surprising and inevitable. Every clue from earlier should click into place, making the reader think, of course. How did I not see that? Step 4, plot your clue trail. This is where mystery outlining gets technical and fun. I create a spreadsheet or document that tracks every clue: what it is, where and when it's discovered, what it seems to mean, the misleading interpretation, what it actually means, the true significance, and the chapter number where it appears. I also track every red herring, the false trail, why it seems convincing when it's revealed as misleading, and what it actually was. And I track every suspect, their motive, real or apparent, their opportunity, their alibi or lack thereof, clues that point to them, clues that clear them, and when they're ruled out, if at all. This spreadsheet becomes my Bible during outlining and writing. It ensures I'm planting evidence fairly, spacing out revelations appropriately, and not leaving loose threads. Step 5, build your chapter by chapter outline. Now I take everything I've mapped and break it into chapters. For each chapter, I write the chapter goal, what needs to happen to advance the mystery, the point of view character if you use multiple POVs, the setting and timing, where and when does this take place, key scenes, 2 to 4 sentences per major scene in the chapter, clues revealed, what evidence comes to light, character development, what do we learn about the people involved, the emotional arc, what's the feeling of this chapter, and the chapter ending, what hook keeps readers turning pages. My chapter outlines are usually 200 to 300 words each, detailed enough to guide my writing, but loose enough to allow spontaneity. For Death by Degrees, I outlined 22 chapters. Some were straightforward investigation scenes. Others had emotional beats, relationship development, or thematic exploration woven in. But every single chapter served the larger mystery structure. Step 6, check for balance and pacing. Once I have my full chapter outline, I read it through like a reader would experience it, asking, are clues distributed evenly? Not too many at once, not too few. Do red herrings feel organic? Not obviously fake. Are there enough twists and turns? Something significant every few chapters. Is there a balance between investigation and character moments? Does the pacing accelerate toward the climax? Does the ending feel earned? This is where I'll move scenes around, add chapters if the middle sags, or cut material that slows momentum. The outline is a living document at this stage. Step 7, write flexibly from your outline. Here's the most important thing I've learned. An outline is a guide, not a prison. When I start writing, I follow my outline closely, but not religiously. If a character surprises me with dialogue that reveals something new, I lean into it. If a scene I outlined feels flat when I write it, I rework it. If a better solution to the mystery emerges, I adjust. The outline gives me confidence and structure. But the actual writing is where the magic happens, where characters come alive, where atmosphere builds, where themes emerge organically. I revise my outline as I write, updating it to reflect new discoveries. By the time I finish my first draft, my outline and my manuscript are aligned, but they're both different from where I started. And that's exactly how it should be. So, why does this 7 step method work so well for mystery novels specifically? First, it ensures fair play with your reader. You can't accidentally forget to plant a crucial clue if you've mapped it in your outline. Mystery readers expect to be able to solve the case alongside your detective, and that requires careful setup. Second, it prevents plot holes. When you know your timeline, your alibis, and your evidence trail before you write, you're far less likely to create contradictions that eagle eyed readers will spot. Third, it manages complexity. Mysteries juggle multiple suspects, motives, clues, and red herrings. An outline keeps all those threads organized so nothing gets dropped. Fourth, it saves time in revision. Yes, outlining takes time up front, but it saves you from massive rewrites when you realize halfway through that your solution doesn't work or your clues don't add up. And fifth, it gives you creative freedom. This might sound counterintuitive, but knowing your structure is solid lets you focus on the joy of writing, the voice, the relationships, the atmosphere, the themes. You're not constantly worried about whether your plot makes sense. For Death by Degrees, my outline took me about 2 weeks to complete. But once I started writing, the words flowed because I knew exactly where I was going. I still made changes along the way. The dynamics between Iris, Frank, and Eleanor, Ellie, evolved in unexpected ways. Certain scenes needed more or less space, and I discovered thematic layers I hadn't initially planned. But the core mystery structure held firm, and that gave me the confidence to explore and experiment. So there you have it, my complete process for outlining a mystery novel from initial crime to final chapter. To recap the 7 steps. Step 1, start with the crime. Know your victim, killer, motive, and method. Step 2, create your detective, their skills, blind spots, and personal arc. Step 3, map your 3-act structure. Setup, investigation, resolution. Step 4, plot your clue trail. Track every piece of evidence and red herring. Step 5, build your chapter-by-chapter outline, a guide for each scene. Step 6, check for balance and pacing, read it through and adjust. Step 7, write flexibly from your outline, structure plus spontaneity. If you're working on a mystery right now, I hope this framework helps you build a solid foundation. And if you're thinking about writing your first mystery, know that outlining doesn't stifle your creativity. It empowers it. Mystery writing is a beautiful blend of architecture and art. The outline is your architecture, the writing is your art. Together, they create something that keeps readers up way past their bedtime, frantically turning pages to find out who'd done it. Speaking of which, I mentioned I used this exact process to outline Death by Degrees, a Green Havens mystery, which releases this January. It's a climate fiction cozy mystery featuring 3 unlikely amateur sleuths, all residents of an eco-friendly retirement community, who team up to solve the murder of their friend when the police refuse to investigate. If you love mysteries with heart, complex characters, found family dynamics, and real-world stakes, I think you'll enjoy following Iris, Frank, and Eleanor on their first case together. I'll be sharing more about the book in upcoming episodes, including a special teaser video and a deep dive into the Green Havens community. So make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. If this video helped you think about outlining in a new way, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Are you an outliner or a pantser? And if you outline, what's your process? I'd love to hear how other mystery writers approach structure. Thanks so much for watching, and happy writing. Whether you're plotting your first mystery or your 50th, remember, a strong outline is your secret weapon. Use it wisely, and your readers will thank you. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep those plot twists coming.